It began in the bustling streets of Manila, Philippines. Among the chaotic horns of jeepneys and the aroma of roasted corn drifting through the air, a young boy named Arvin stood at a corner, clutching an old, scratched guitar. He couldn't have been more than 15. His shirt, worn thin from countless days under the sun, fluttered in the warm wind. His voice, though tired, carried the kind of soul that could silence a noisy street. Every note he sang told the story of hunger, hope, and unshaken faith. Arvin's world wasn't built on luxury or comfort. His home was a small, wooden shack along the edge of a railway line. Every night, the rumble of passing trains would shake the walls, but he never complained. His mother, a laundry worker, would come home late, exhausted yet smiling, while his little sister would sit beside him as he sang softly to her, pretending that the flickering candlelight was their stage spotlight. He had learned music not from any teacher, but from the rhythm of life itself. The way rain hit tin roofs, the whistle of wind through alleyways, and the heartbeat of the city that never slept, these became his lessons. When he first heard Aloe Blacc's "I Need a Dollar" on an old radio someone had thrown away, it felt like destiny whispering in his ear. The lyrics spoke to him deeply, about struggle, pride, and the quiet pain of surviving. That song became his prayer, his anthem. Every morning, Arvin would sling his guitar over his back and walk to the same corner in Quiapo. The vendors knew him. The bus drivers would smile when they saw him. He never begged for money, he sang for it. His voice was his only treasure, and every peso he earned went straight to food and rent. One day, as he was singing under the fading sun, a tourist couple stopped to listen. They filmed him on their phone, enchanted by his raw, soulful voice. The man whispered to his wife, "This boy could be on a world stage." They uploaded the video that night with the title, "Filipino Street Singer with the Voice of an Angel." Within days, it went viral, millions of views, comments flooding in from around the world. People couldn't believe that a voice so powerful was living in the shadows of the streets. An email came weeks later. It was short but life-changing. "We'd like to invite you to audition for AGT Music Room." Arvin thought it was a joke. He didn't even have a passport. But when producers reached out again and arranged everything, reality struck him like lightning. He was going to America. He was going to sing for Simon Cowell. His mother cried the night he left. She held his hands tightly and whispered, "No matter what happens, sing with your heart, Anik. That's all you've ever needed." The journey to the United States was surreal. For someone who had never even been on a plane, every cloud outside the window felt like a dream he had once hummed about in his songs. When he landed, he carried nothing but his guitar, a small bag of clothes, and a heart full of courage. The day of the audition arrived. Backstage, Arvin could barely speak. The walls vibrated with laughter and chatter from other contestants, but he stood silently, his fingers trembling around the guitar. He closed his eyes and whispered the same words he said before every street performance, "Lord, sing through me." As his name was called, the audience applauded politely, expecting another hopeful contestant. He stepped out slowly, barefoot by choice, his old jeans slightly torn. Simon Cowell looked up, intrigued. Something about this boy, the humility, the quiet fire, caught his attention. "What's your name?" Simon asked. "My name is Arvin, sir. I'm from the Philippines. And what are you going to sing for us today?" "I Need a Dollar," by Aloe Blacc. The audience murmured softly. It wasn't a flashy song. But then, the first chord struck. A hush fell over the theater. Arvin's voice came out deep, rich, and full of life. There was pain in it, yes, but also beauty, and gratitude, and a kind of resilience that can't be taught. "I need a dollar. A dollar is what I need." Every word trembled with truth. The tone was raw, his voice textured like it had lived through every lyric. The judges leaned forward. Heidi covered her heart with her hand. Simon's eyes softened. By the time he reached the second verse, something extraordinary happened. The audience, who had been whispering moments earlier, now sat in complete silence. You could hear the faint creak of his guitar strings. You could see Simon's jaw tighten as he fought back emotion. When Arvin reached the bridge, his voice broke slightly, but instead of ruining the moment, it made it even more real. That crack carried the weight of his struggles. It was the sound of a boy who had sung through hunger, loneliness, and hope. The final note lingered in the air, trembling, pure. Silence. Then, a roar. The crowd leapt to their feet. Tears flowed. Even Simon stood slowly, clapping, his eyes glistening with something he rarely showed, vulnerability. He walked toward Arvin and said in a quiet voice, "You don't just sing, Arvin. You tell the truth. And truth like that, it moves people. That's what music is supposed to do." The judges gave him a standing ovation. Golden confetti burst from the ceiling as the golden buzzer was hit. Arvin dropped his guitar in disbelief, covering his face as tears streamed down. That moment, caught on camera, shared millions of times, became one of the most emotional AGT performances ever aired. Social media exploded. Fans wrote messages like, "He made me cry, that's what real music sounds like," and, "From the streets to the stars." In interviews, Simon Cowell admitted that it was one of the few times he'd cried during a performance. "He reminded me why I love what I do," Simon said. "This boy has the kind of soul you can't find in polished studios or fancy training. It's born from life itself." As Arvin prepared for the next round, producers gave him a small suite to stay in. For the first time in his life, he slept on a soft bed, under real light. He called his mother, his voice breaking with emotion. "Ma, we did it. I pressed the golden buzzer." Her laughter and tears echoed through the phone. "I told you, Anik. Sing with your heart." Weeks passed, and Arvin continued to perform, each song more powerful than the last. But, "I Need a Dollar," remained special. It wasn't just a song, it was his story. Even when he later performed new songs, people around the world would still write, "Sing that dollar song again." When the season finale came, Arvin didn't win the trophy. But he won something far greater: love, recognition, and a lifetime of inspiration. Record labels reached out. Concert invitations flooded in. Yet through it all, he stayed humble. He returned to Manila months later, not to escape fame but to give back. He started a small foundation to help street children learn music, providing free guitars, ukuleles, and voice lessons. "I was one of them," he said during a local interview. "Now I want them to believe that dreams don't have an address." Simon Cowell even visited the Philippines to surprise him at one of his charity events. When Simon stepped out from behind the stage, Arvin froze. The crowd screamed with joy. Simon handed him a plaque engraved with the words, "For reminding the world that the streets can make stars." That video broke the internet all over again. Two men from different worlds, connected through one simple truth: music can heal. In the years that followed, Arvin's journey became a symbol of hope. He toured Asia and Europe, performing "I Need a Dollar" in every city, each time with new emotion, new strength. His story inspired documentaries, millions of views, and countless covers. But what never changed was his humility. He still visited his old corner in Quiapo sometimes, sitting quietly with his guitar, playing softly while the city buzzed around him. The same streets that once held his struggle now echoed with his triumph. And every time someone dropped a coin at his feet, he smiled, not because he needed the money, but because it reminded him where it all began. He often said, "When you sing from your soul, the world listens. You don't need fame, you just need heart." That's the message AGT Music Room wanted to share with the world. That sometimes, the greatest stars are found not in bright studios or big cities, but in humble streets, where dreams are born from dust and determination. Arvin's name may fade from the trending lists one day, but his voice will never be forgotten. Because voices like his don't just entertain, they awaken something inside all of us. And so, as the outro music played softly, the familiar voice of AGT Music Room closed the video. Thank you for watching AGT Music Room, where we bring you real stories of courage, hope, and unforgettable talent. If you believe in the power of music to change lives, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because somewhere out there, another voice is waiting to be heard. As the screen faded to black, a final image appeared: Arvin standing under the Manila sunset, his guitar slung across his back, humming the same song that changed his life. "I need a dollar. A dollar is what I need." But this time, it wasn't a plea. It was a celebration, a reminder that even the smallest voice can echo across the world. And that's the story of how a Filipino street singer turned a simple song into a timeless moment that made Simon Cowell, and millions around the world, cry tears of truth.